Tokyo, the greatest metropolitan area in the world, has many secrets upon it. Today, let's go deep in the history that this city holds in today's episode of Tokyo Explained. So, with the introduction out of the way, let's talk about today's topic, the Ginza Line. You might be wondering why this train line deserves such an episode. Well, this line is not just an ordinary train line, but rather holds a greater significance for Tokyo. It is because it is the living witness of the 20th century. Firstly, let's observe the details of the line. The Ginza Line is a subway line operated by Tokyo Metro. The line is symbolized with the letter G and has an orange color scheme. It has 19 stations that run through the center of Tokyo, including areas such as Asakusa with its rich history, Nihonbashi, the center of the Japanese economy, Ginza, the shopping area, and Shinbashi, the business district, the Shibuya, the center of Japanese pop and youth culture. This is the reason why the Ginza Line is so perfect for visitors who want to see the various faces of the city. Now, let's dive into the history of the line. Firstly, we need to talk about Hayakawa Noritsugu, so-called the father of the Japanese subway. Back in 1914, Hayakawa had the opportunity to visit the London Tube network and realized the need for Tokyo's metro network. Nevertheless, Hayakawa's concept of a subway in Tokyo was met with harsh criticism, as people in power thought the soft soil of Tokyo made it impossible for an underground metro. Still, Hayakawa was able to gain support from people like Goto Keita and Shibusawa Eiichi, allowing him to start up the Tokyo Underground Railway Company back in 1920. However, in 1923, the Great Kanto earthquake, killing up to 10,000 people, and combined outbreak with the fire in the city has devastated Tokyo. Nevertheless, one of the effects of the earthquake was it allowed Tokyo to rebuild from the ground up. Therefore, it allowed conditions in Tokyo to test out more radical ideas of transportation, which allowed Hayakawa to gain support of the construction of the metro line. The line itself opened in 1927, making it the oldest subway in Japan. It is also the oldest subway in Asia as well in Oceania. The line itself was modeled after the Berlin subway or the U-Bahn. The first section of the modern-day Ginza Line was between Ueno and Asakusa, the distance of 2.2 kilometers. This section was first opened because Asakusa and Ueno are downtown areas of Tokyo, allowing the company to gain more profits. For a short 5-minute ride, people lined up more than an hour, making the Ginza Line a success. By 1937, the Ginza Line reached Shinbashi. However, the plan took a radical turn due to Goto Keita. Audience of this channel might know him from the first episode featuring Shibuya. He wanted the attention-grabbing Ginza Line to terminate at Shibuya, making it an attraction in Shibuya, which was practically under his control. To achieve his goals, he started a new subway company, the Tokyo Rapid Railway Company, to forcibly merge the Ginza Line into his power. He rapidly builds the section from Shinbashi to Shibuya. By 1939, Hayakawa gave in to Goto, allowing both companies to start a direct service, creating the Ginza Line we know today. In 1941, due to the escalating war in the Pacific, both the Tokyo Rapid Railway and the Tokyo Underground Railway companies were forcibly merged into the Teito Rapid Authority. This was the history of the line, so let's observe the line and see what remains from the past. To begin, let me introduce the heritage of industrial modernization. This is a list of heritage in Japan related to Japanese modernization and industrialization set by the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. Based on this list, the entire Ginza Line is listed as a heritage by the Japanese national government. With that out of the way, firstly, let's observe the rolling stock used on the Ginza Line. The rolling stock used is the Tokyo Metro Series 1000, which debuted back in 2012. Unlike most railways in Japan, which uses 1067mm narrow gauge, the Ginza Line uses a 1435mm standard gauge and is powered by a third rail electrified at DC 600 volts. The interior of the stock has a modern aesthetic with LCD displays near the doors and the symbolizes of places along the line near the partition door separating each car. Unlike its predecessors, the Series 01 stock, the Series 1000 stock has a heavy emphasis on the color yellow. As mentioned before, the Ginza Line was modeled after the German U-Bahn, and the original rolling stock, the Type 1000, debuted back in 1927, used a bright lemon color. The color had a practical reason, as it was easier to identify the train was coming in the dark underground. However, it was also the beginning of companies implementing line colors, which is now part of Tokyo's personality. The original Type 1000 stock as well as its sister stock, the Type 100, are both listed on the Heritage of Industrial Modernization and the Heritage of Important Cultural Properties, which are both preserved at the Metro Museum. Going back to the modern day Series 1000 stock, the last two train sets have a completely different interior from the others. Here you can see that the interior has a wooden aesthetic with seating with green padding. This looks very old, because it was designed to closely resemble the Series 1000 stocks. Nevertheless, the chance of riding these train sets is 1 in 20th. With the introduction of the rolling stock out of the way, let's move on to the unique stations. First station we'll be looking into is Asakusa Station. The station was renewed as a part of an overall renewal of the Ginza line back in 2017. Asakusa Station's theme is the City of Festivals, with a color red used throughout the station, which is inspired by the nearby Sensoji Temple. On a different note, throughout various facilities owned by Tokyo Metro, there are small statues of Mercury designed by Kasagi Sueo. Kasagi designed the Mercury statues back in 1957 to symbolize the rapid development after the war and the burning power of the youth. On the Ginza line, there are 4 statues of Mercury, and the first statue can be seen here at Asakusa Station. Finally, you can see the chance. Please visit the number 4 exit of the Ginza line. The number 4 exit is listed on the Heritage of Industrial Modernization and has been practically untouched since 1931. Additionally, the so-called Akamon or Red Gate was designed as a part of a competition hosted by the Tokyo Underground Railway Company. So, let's move on to the next spot. Inaricho Station G17 is a very simple train station with no transfers to other lines, however has one historical heritage, which is the 3rd exit. According to Tokyo Metro, subway lines need to grab the attentions of passengers on the surface level, making the entrance/exit the station's symbol and the symbol of the subway itself. Therefore, the exit used today has remained intact since 1927. Similarly, nearby stations of Tawadamachi G18 entrances have been based on the original designs with a modern aesthetic. With those 2 stations out of the way, the next major spot you should visit on the Ginza line is Ueno Station or G16. As mentioned previously, the station also received a modernization back in 2017, and especially the Ginza line received a overall update that presents its history. The theme of the station is the City of Museums, and firstly you could see the replica of the original ticket gates placed. Back then, a 10-cent coin was acted as a ticket for the lines, and the passengers would push the turntable to get in. Going down to the platform levels, platforms facing towards Shibuya shows exhibits of the opening posters of the subway as well as the train approach indicator used back in the 1970s. While in platforms facing towards Asakusa, you could see the original 3rd rail using to electrify the rolling stocks. Finally, you could also see the 2nd Mercury statue here as well. The next spot isn't a station used today, rather it is the remains of an abandoned station that closed in 1931. Between the stations of Suehirocho G14 and Kanda G13, the line goes under the Kanda River. Since the Ginza line used a cut and open method, which has to physically dig the tunnel from the surface level, therefore it took a lot of work to build under the river. Nevertheless, the station acted as a transportation hub between the national rail as well as the trams used in the city. Still, the placement of the station made it impossible to expand the train platforms to create more capacity, and since the construction under the river was finished in 1931, there was practically no need for the station, and what remains today could be seen from the trains shown in the video right now. The next station on the list is Mitsukoshimae G12. This station acts as a transfer station to the Hanzomon line as well as the JR Yokosuka line. The name Mitsukoshimae comes from the nearby Mitsukoshi department store. Back in 1927, when the line opened, Japan was under an economic crisis due to the Great Kanto earthquake. Therefore, the Tokyo Underground Rail Company needed sponsors to build the train stations. Here, Mitsukoshi found an opportunity by sponsoring the construction fee to gain the rights to name the train station, which acted as a PR for the department store. Although the station has been remodeled since the opening, the name of the station is a living witness to the struggles of the construction of the line. Nextly, Nihonbashi Station G11 has a theme of the City of Bridges. The station name derives from the Nihonbashi, which is the most important bridge in Japan, as it acted as an origin point for 5 main roads back in the Edo period. Therefore, you could see the influences of the bridge back from the Edo period with the use of wood throughout the station, as well as the homage to the bridge itself here. Finally, you could see the third Mercury statue. The next station is Ginza G9. Here, you could see the walls of the station has been decorated with the history of the city as well as the history of the line. This is because the line Ginza comes from this station. Going up to the concourse level, you'll be able to see the beautiful facades, which has a specific meaning as well as a utility design. For example, the colors used to light up these facades are indicated by the nearby lines based on their colors. For example, the yellow line indicates the Ginza line, the red lights indicate the Marunouchi line, and the white lights indicate the Shibuya line. Going up close to these facades, you'll be able to see small patterns etched into the glass. These patterns are based on the traditional Edo kiriko, and the shapes indicates the lines based on their alphabetical symbols. For example, you could see that the letters M, G, and H are there, symbolizing each line. Looking towards the ceiling, you could see what Tokyo Metro calls the orientation sign. Tokyo Metro has explained due to the nature of being underground, it is hard to see and know where you are. Therefore, they printed notable buildings on the ceiling to indicate where you locate around Ginza. Finally, you're able to see the fourth Mercury statue located on the Ginza line. The next station is Shinbashi G8. As of 2024, the station is under reconstruction. However, if you recall from the history of the line, this used to be the terminal station for both the Tokyo Underground Railway Company as well as the Tokyo Rapid Railway Company. However, the terminal platform used by the Tokyo Rapid Rail Company has only lasted a short period, as the original plan was to create and operate direct through-on services with the Tokyo Underground Railway Company. Therefore, the platform was only shortly used and abandoned. Nevertheless, the platform itself remains intact and sometimes open to the public during events. However, during normal times, you can only see the branching points from the main line, shown in this video. Going down the Ginza line, you will arrive at Akasaka Mitsuke Station, G5. Here, you might realize the weird shape of the platforms. The station has 2 platform levels, and the Ginza line shares the platforms with the Marunouchi line. However, if you stand here, you might be able to see that the platform towards the Marunouchi line is sloped downwards. This is because the modern-day Marunouchi line platform was added after the completion of the Ginza line. Back when this section was owned by the Tokyo Rapid Railway Company, there used to be plans to branch out the modern-day Ginza line and extend it towards Shinjuku. Therefore, the station itself was designed to make it easier to transfer trains bound for Shibuya and Shinjuku. Still, the plan was left abandoned back in the 1930s due to the escalation of the war. Now, post-war 50s, the extension was revitalized and was incorporated part to the modern-day Marunouchi line. Although subtle, this is a living reminder of the war that is part of many people's lives today. A further right down the Ginza line, you will reach Omotesando G2. The station is a major junction as there are connections to the Hanzomo line as well as the Chiyoda line. Today, the Ginza and Hanzomo lines are on the same level. However, the original Ginza line platforms were left abandoned after the Hanzomo line opened in favor of the new platforms. So, you could see the old station right after the train departs from the station. Finally, we have arrived at the last station, Shibuya G1. Here, due to Shibuya's canyon-like geography, the Ginza line jumps out from the ground, creating this unique cityscape. You might notice the white facades. These represents the Tokyo Metro's heart-shaped M logo, which itself represents the Metro's identity of being the symbolic heart of Tokyo. So, by now I hope you understand why the Ginza Line is the physical heart of Tokyo, overseeing changes over its century-long journey. Despite being an old soldier, it carries many peoples and their emotions throughout the city alongside its Metro family. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, like, give a comment, and so forth. You could see the first episode here, and sorry, most of my episodes are in Japanese, so you could use the translation feature, I think. So yeah, please subscribe and let me know. Bye bye.